Hi everyone, and welcome back for another episode in the shooter series. In the last episode we looked at randomized guns and looking at how we make guns procedurally generated. So an example of that here, I can drag a gun in and moving it back, the construction script will create a new gun for us. Okay, so it's a very basic block out example, but you can fill it in with your own artwork. So we're going to carry on the theme of artwork and look at now materials and looking at how we can make it randomize the color of our guns. So when you imported these in, chances are they were all using the same Lambert color coming from Maya. If they're not, make sure then they are all making use of the same color or same material. Sorry. So here I have one material called gun color, and by default it looks like this. Okay, nothing fancy, it's just none, and that's it. Okay. Now by default, this none is actually a parameter vector. So it says param, and a parameter vector means this is a variable that we can change because it makes it a dynamic material. So where it says none, we're going to change the name of that to make it make more sense. So rather than none, we're going to change the name of it down here in the left hand side to primary color. Okie dokie. So with that now done, click save. And now we can reference this color in our code. So in my gun only script, where we got the construction script here, you want to drag out from where you've done the add skeletal mesh component for each one, drag the return value out, and we're going to do dynamic, set vector parameter. So set vector parameter, and the target should be linked up to this skeletal mesh component that you created, this add skeletal mesh component. That will go across over to this add set vector parameter. The parameter name is what we just named it, so primary color. Make sure you type it in exactly how it is in the material. No, if you've got space, make sure there's a space there, capital letters. It's very sensitive, okay, so you have to make sure it's exactly the same. And with the parameter value, it's a vector. So X is R, Y is G, and Z is B. So RGB. And what I can do is I'll make it randomized. So if I drag out parameter color and type in rand, I'll get random unit vector. Click compile, and you can see already the color changing for every single time it spawns a new gun. Excellent. So now what we've got to do is go back and change it for all of them. So let's just copy and paste this, save us typing out any mistakes. Making sure we hook the target up to the return value of our add skeletal mesh component. So we're accessing the vector parameter on the materials that it is sensing this skeletal mesh component has. Click compile, and now you can see all the different colours of the rainbows. The only one left is the chassis, and that quite simply we can do at the start here, and we're going to paste that again, that same code, but this time the target will be self. Oh, not self, sorry, the skeletal mesh of this self. So drag the skeletal mesh down, there we go, click compile, and there you go. So now you can change the colour quite randomly. Now, obviously it's quite garish to see this sort of colour system. We'll now change this to be a bit more uniform, so make the whole gun a certain colour. If you want to make the gun the whole one colour, what we're going to do at the start of the construction script is save it as a variable. So click on local variable and add a new one. And this one we're going to name as primary color, and the primary color is going to be a vector. Drag primary color out and choose set, hook that into your construction script and where we had the set vector parameter, and then where we got the random unit vector, you want to hook that into that set primary color and then plug that into your parameter value there. Now, for all the other ones, you don't want to do the random unit vector. Instead, you just want to plug in that local variable, like so, like so, like so. Compile, and now the guns that spawn all spawn the same colour for all the parts. That's a very basic overview. Okay, so we're going to look at, in the next episode, adding a secondary colour. This will involve some UV mapping and different textures and things like that, but we're going to add try adding a secondary colour and look at how we can add two colours to these objects. After that, we're going to look at how we store these guns once we've created them into memory, so we can recall them in our inventory slots or whatever we've got going on. If you've liked this video and liked all the other videos I have, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me, please head over to Patreon like these fine people have, and donating just $1 will get you access to all these videos and the next parts nice and early before anyone else, as plus many other benefits such as Discord and exclusive videos. I've been Ryan Laley, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.